Hey guys, Andre here, and today I want to talk about the best way to become a real estate investor without flipping homes. I think a lot of times people think that fixing and flipping is the only way to becoming a real estate investor because of what they watch on HGTV. And it makes sense. You have Property Brothers, Fix and Flop, but there's so many other strategies on how to become a real estate investor that are super low cost. And so today I want to bring the ones that I think people should think about. Number one, wholesaling. Wholesaling is the number one way that most people get into real estate when they first start out. And then they take the money from that and they might get into fixing and flipping or other areas of real estate that they might be like multifamily, commercial investing and things like that. But wholesaling, I did a video on it, so I'm not gonna talk about it a lot today. If you wanna know more about wholesaling, I did a video on how to make $100,000 using Zillow 10 hours a week. And that pretty much breaks down how you can find properties on Zillow that you can wholesale to an investor and make 5 or 6 or 7 grand within 14 days or less if you do it right. And I pretty much did a webinar showing you how to break that down. So take a look at that. I'm not gonna talk about it as much in this video, but take a look at it. Number two, I think people forget about this or they don't even think about this as real estate investing, putting up money for closing costs. You know what I mean? So if you're putting up money to purchase property, that's real estate investing. So say for instance, you got a deal where you got 10 grand sitting around and one of your friends need money for closing costs. Say, hey, I'll give you the 10 grand for 12% interest. So now you're gonna make $1,200 in less than 2 hours, maybe 2 days, depending on what escrow does, whether they send you a wire or whether they mail a check, but you're gonna make that money back and it's gonna be low risk because when you do the closing, the last thing that they need is the wire to finish out the transaction. That's what completes the transaction. So you're pretty much not gonna have any risk involved when you put this money up. So I think, that's one thing that people should get into. If you have money sitting around in the bank earning 0.01, put up money for closing costs for someone and make $1,200 in less than, again, 2 hours for just wiring some money. You know what I mean? I think that's not talked about enough in the real estate investing community. You know what I mean? But to me, it's still technically real estate investing. Number three, subject to. Subject to is one of the main strategies that we focus on and that we teach our clients because you can make so much money doing these type of deals. They're hard to find, but once you find them like a gold mine. So for instance, we did a subject to deal in December where the person was gonna lose their home. We paid out the money, we paid out the arrears. This person signed over their house. So now we had the home subject to the existing loan. And so we sold the house in 35 days and made, I think it was like $37,000, which is amazing. You don't do that often. Fixing and flipping, you gotta end up taking, sometimes 60 to 90 days to make that amount of money. We could have did it in less time, but it was a traditional homeowner who bought the house, and that's why it took the, 35 to 45 days, regular escrow closing time. But subject to is one of the ways that I think people should do some research and figure out how to do subject twos. Number four, multifamily. The name of the game in real estate is being able to find, deals where you can get multiple doors. So single family homes is one door. So if you're not really, renting that house out, which you can if you're doing a flip on it, you're not gonna be making any money, you're gonna be in the negative. Take that same strategy and buy 5 or 6 units. So you've got 3 units that you fixed and flipped. Now you can rent those out and you're cash flowing from those and the other 2 are being rehab. So if you have one house, you're not making any money. You're not cash flowing anything because you're flipping it. So you're in the negative again. So why not do that with multiple units and make money that way? So instead of trying to be like, hey, I want to be a fix and flipper on single family homes, focus on taking that strategy and hopping into a bigger deal. That leads me into syndication. Syndication is what I think everyone should get into at some point in time in their investing career because you can make money on syndication by raising the funds, finding the deal, and managing the deal until the deal is done. So that's another way that I think people don't think about when it comes to real estate investing. They think syndication it's tough depending on your network. So if you have a really good network with a lot of people that have a lot of money, syndication might not be that hard, but you're gonna have to at some point establish yourself as someone in the real estate investing community and have a portfolio for people to be able to trust you. But I think, I'm gonna do a video on every single one of these, maybe a 10 to 15 minute video breaking each of them down. But I just wanted to do a quick video letting people know and think about other areas of real estate investing besides fixing and flipping. It's great, but you can make so much more money doing the other things that I just mentioned in a shorter amount of time, and some of them with lower risk. Number one, wholesaling. Number 2, put up money for closing costs. Number 3, subject to. Number 4, multifamily. Number 5, syndication. I think those are the areas that people should focus on besides fixing and flipping, because a lot of them are low cost, sweat equity is needed, but the return you'll get will be way better than fixing flips in a shorter amount of time. Smash that like button and subscribe, please. And be on the lookout for my next video. Peace.